you want to be an authority in your industry, you have to prove it by showing people that you know what you're doing. If you know that you want a certain lifestyle, you want to, you like soft life, you like enjoyment, you like to travel, you have to put in the work. If what you're doing right now is not going to give you the lifestyle you want, then it's time to think again. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is not glam and chat. So I'm just going to give you guys a quick backstory just to let you know how I ended up here with my foundation on, concealer on, and all of that. So I was meant to do glam and chat today. I came to the studio, finished filming, time had gone because I had a lot of issues at the studio. But then I just decided, okay, fine. Since I don't have enough time to do my glam and chat, which I really like to do. Glam and Chat is a series that I started. I actually didn't announce that it was a series, but now I'm realizing that it's actually something I want to be a series, because I want to have a day that I come on here and we just catch up and I tell you guys, just talk about anything that I'm experiencing or anything I've been through, and with the hopes that it helps someone else, through their own journey. I came to the studio and it didn't work out. So I decided, okay, yeah, I don't have to be doing my makeup, which I know that that's the usual, but I'm not doing my makeup today. So instead of not filming at all, let me just do the talk. Even if it's 50 people who benefit from this video, that's a lot. The real question is, how badly do you want it? And this is just a talk that I wanted to just talk about, because a lot of times I find that, especially with we younger people, the millennials or the people who are the Gen Zs, there is this thing that we always want something, or rather most people want something. Like, you talk about it so much, but then the real question is, how badly do you want it? I'm talking, this is not just something that has to do with just some entrepreneurs or people who are in the social media space or influencers or any particular career. It's something that I've seen with this our generation in general. You talk about something so much, but then you're not willing to do anything about it. Right? You talk about it so much, you're not willing to do anything about it. You're not willing to make an effort to see that thing, actually, comes to reality. It's one thing to have a dream. It's one thing to want something. It's one thing to want to be influential. It's one thing to want a new job. It's one thing to want clients. It's one thing to want to sell your whatever it is that you sell. Whatever category you find yourself, it's always very easy to have the dream. It's always very easy to just sit back and be like, oh yeah, I really want this thing, or this is and you envision it, you imagine when, if it's for somebody who wants to have a large audience, you imagine when you actually have that large audience, how it's going to be. You imagine all of these things, but in reality, you find that a lot of people do not even have any idea what it takes to get there. When I just had my baby a couple of months ago, one of the very common questions that I was always getting was, oh, Ginika, how are you able to, show up so often, to be there, to, come online and talk about your brand, even after you just had a baby, put out content and all of that. As much as I would want more than anything to just pack up my stuff and just go and sleep and chill, I always remind myself that someone else is thriving in a worse situation. Someone else somewhere is maybe a single mom who just had a baby and still has to work in order to feed that baby, right? At least I'm grateful that I have a partner whom I can, share the responsibilities with. So in every situation, I'm always asking myself, what is the worst that could happen? Like, do you realize that someone else is having it worse than you? And I know how badly I want the things I want right now. I know how badly I want them, and I do not ever imagine that lying on my bed day in, day out will be what will take me there, right? You need to understand that when you say you want something, the next action is to, what are the things I need to do to get there? And the next thing is actually to start to execute. Right? No matter how much you talk about something, it would never become a reality until you have put in the work. Sometimes putting in the work for someone else may take 1 month. Someone else can take a couple of days. Someone else can take 6 months. Someone else can take 1 year. Someone else can take 5 years. Nobody knows what amount of time it would take to get to where they want to be. So one of the things I always tell myself is, Ginika, enjoy the process. I'm telling you, this is one of the easiest things that I have learned of late. Enjoy the process. Like, whatever. See, I was having a conversation with someone over the weekend, and I was telling him that I don't see myself right now doing anything that I do not love. And that's not to say that someone who is doing something that you do not love, or that is like trying to criticize them. That's not what I'm saying. But I am personally at that point in my life where I realize the value of life. I realize the value of time. I realize the value of this moment that I have. So I do not see myself doing anything that I'm not really like. Anything I'm doing as of today is something I would comfortably do without being paid for it. So what that means is that if you ask yourself, what I'm doing today, right? Is it something that if I wasn't being paid, would I be willing and happy to do it? If the answer is no, then I don't want to say, oh, you have to start looking for an alternative or you have to find something. No, because I don't want it to be like, oh, Ginika, you don't understand, right? At the end of the day, I'm just in my own timeline. I'm just like, every day you guys see me come out here, put out content. It's because I mean, all my content on Instagram, and I believe that if somebody is stuck on my page, I'm sure you would have an idea of how to at least do the basic, right? And you see that all of those content, there is no, oh, put out the video and immediately Instagram gives you a check and say, oh, take for the content you put out. No. At the end of the day, you realize that you're doing it because you actually do love that thing, right? So anything you're doing, make sure that at least to the very, like, I know that some people may be in a situation where they cannot actually switch, but I would always advise people, have something that you're building on the side just in case. If what you're doing right now is not what you love, have something you're doing on the side just in case. Let that thing you're doing on the side be the thing you really want to do long term, right? Don't just rely solely on the thing that you know does not bring you fulfillment, does not bring you joy, right? Does not bring you, that you don't even have control over how long you stay in that establishment, right? So, but that's on the side. So what I'm trying to say is that when you have a dream, when you want something, right, you have to put in the work. Someone asked me in my last class, she said, oh, Ginika, what do you film with? And I was like, oh, right now all my Instagram and TikTok contents are mostly, maybe not 100%, but at least 90% as at now, are filmed with my DSLR. That's my professional camera. And she was like, oh, that she tried it before and it didn't work. And because of course we all know how time consuming it can be to film a content and then put it out there, right? And try to edit it in your laptop and cut and join and all of these things to bring out the short clip that people see on social media. I totally understand. And 98% of the content creators I follow film with their phone. I have tried to film myself with my phone. It works well when I have like with my clients, but it doesn't work well for me, right? So when I'm filming myself, I find that in most cases I am having this fluctuation. Today it's really good, tomorrow it's bad. So I'm like, okay, DSLR gives me that crisp, clean, constant outcome, right? So why don't I just stick with it? Yes, it's going to require more work, but what I'm after is the quality that I want to put out there. I want to be someone else watching this may just be like, ah, Ginika, you're already a voice in the beauty industry. I know, but I know the level I want to be. And when I look at that level, I ask myself, what do you need to do to get there? Getting there, I cannot get there by being today my video is clean, tomorrow is not clean, next tomorrow the audio is good, next tomorrow is not good. Every single day you have to work towards your goal. Every single day you have to do something. It doesn't mean that you have to come and be toiling, and no. Sometimes it could just be just following somebody and studying their content. How does this person put out her content? I love the quality of this person's content. What do they do? Sometimes it could be you actually getting on your computer, putting in the work right there. Sometimes it could be, okay, all the things you've learned, put it together. The issue is that a lot of people are all talks and no action. No matter how bad you want something, you have to put in the work. If you're running a business and you do not have customers, you have to put in the work, There's nobody that will come and put in the work for you unless you have the funds to hire people to do that for you. But if you do not have the funds to hire people to do it for you, you have to put in the work. You cannot spend all day watching other people go for their dreams and you are not doing anything about your own dreams, right? At the end of the day, it gets to a point where we all have to advise ourselves. Nobody will come and save you. You are, like I keep saying it, God and you are all you've got. Like there is, you're not even sure. Even if you hire somebody, you're not even sure of them. They could wake up tomorrow and be like, I'm not doing it again. They are gone. So at the end of the day, you are the one you're sure of. God is who you're sure of, and you are also sure of yourself. So put in the work as though there is nobody coming to save you. I'm telling you because these were the things that I had to change in my mindset that helped me to grow faster. There was a time that I would stay all day, all night, complaining, ranting, lamenting. But at the end of the day, what did that change? Nothing. But when I started putting in the work consciously, I found that a lot of things started changing. I found that I started building and gradually building the life that I desired. Let me give you an example. If you are looking for, let's say for people who are in the beauty space, you are looking for a certain type of client. You want clients who come to you, no stress, they obey your policies, they just, do what they're supposed to do, you do what you're supposed to do, and there's no, unnecessary issue, right? For you to attract those kind of people, you have to also come correct. You cannot be, putting out these standards for people to meet and you are not even up to that standard. Is a two-way street. That is the reason why when people ask me, oh, like especially in the beauty industry, when someone asks me, oh, Ginika, how much should I charge? There's nobody that can tell you how much to charge. It's you that know the time you put into building your brand. It's you that know the effort. It's you that know the things what you've invested in and all of those things. So you have to be on that standard before you want your clients to come to that standard, right? You cannot be below that standard and you are setting the standard for your clients. It goes as far as the products you're selling, whatever it is that you sell. It goes as far as the services you provide. How well are you at that service? Nobody will take you serious if you do not bring in your A game all the time. I'm telling you, because everything I'm telling you is based off of experience. I had a time in my life when I used to take clients and I would have issues, and you have people who would always either they're not obeying your policies or they're treating you anyhow. But then the more I grew, the more I learned, was the more I realized that they are treating you the way they see you. Your customers or your clients will always treat you the way they see you. So if you present yourself as an authority in your field, people will respect you. If you present yourself as a joke, people will take you and your business as a joke. I'm telling you, it doesn't mean that you have to go and start spending money trying to build a fancy space, blah, 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 blah. And yes, those things are good, but those are not the core things that you need to fix. If you know that you want high clientele, you have to present high value offers. If you know that you want people who, you want to be an authority in your industry, you have to prove it by showing people that you know what you're doing. If you know that you want a certain lifestyle, you want to, you like soft life, you like enjoyment, you like to travel, you have to put in the work. If what you're doing right now is not going to give you the lifestyle you want, then it's time to think again. If you know that you're admiring luxury, high class, you like fancy bags, you like Hermes, you like Burberry, you like all these big brands, those are not cheap. Someone else may not care about those things, so they may be okay with their average lifestyle. But if you know deep down that this is really what you want, this is really the life you want to live in a luxury space, you have to position yourself to get there. So you cannot do that by not showing up for your business. You cannot do that by showing up when you feel like. It takes a lot of working smart and working hard. I do not believe that you just wake up and anything can be handed over to you. You have to put in the work. So I myself, even here on YouTube, I don't know if some of you have noticed, there was a time that I used to be so crazy about, oh, what views, oh, when you start, it's normal. I know that I want to have a very successful YouTube channel. What does it take? It takes showing up every single week. It may be hard sometimes. Sometimes you may miss a couple of days, but always go for it. Like, keep going. There's no stopping to start crying over spilled milk. We keep going. How badly do you want it? What I want you to do today is get a journal. Everybody needs to have a journal. I'm telling you, you need a journal. Write out every single thing you want. I'm telling you, write out everything. Don't rush it, don't summarize, don't group it. No. If you want a brand new house, write it there. If you want a brand new car, write it there. If you want to travel the world, write it there. If you want to have kids, write it there. If you whatever you want, categorize them. What that means is, what are the ones that within my power I can achieve? Which means God helping you, you can actually make this happen. And what are the ones that are for God to handle? What that means is things like maybe having a child. Let's say somebody who is married and is trying to have a child. That's not within your power, right? So that is the ones you categorize under the things that are not within your power, right? So when you categorize them, write out the things that are within your power and write out the things that are not within your power. The things that are within your power, you double down on them being in your prayer points. While the things that are within your power, along with praying for those things, you are going to set a schedule. My schedule is that I must be, this is my filming room, I must be in this filming room at least once a day. And I know that most times once I come to this filming room, ideas like it sparks. And a lot of you know these things, but you will choose to be on your bed. You will choose to do it with the TV on when you're distracted. A lot of you know that you need, if you're working corporate, you know that that's your office desk is where you need to be and you get things done. But you will choose to be on the swinging chair and be laughing and scrolling, and you scroll small, then you go and walk small. You are just going to get there way slower. When you write out everything, have a schedule. For me, I don't usually say, oh, I have to film on Monday, because my life is, I'm a mom of three, I have two infants, in fact, and I know that a lot of things are not based on how I want it. It's based on when I wake up, what is happening, how are the kids, are there, is everything okay, is the day looking same, and I will do. But the day, I cannot predict what happens, right, or how my day turns out. But I tell myself, no matter what, once a week I must film my content. Someone else may be looking for a new job, and you know that this new job is what will take you to where you want to be financially. Have a schedule. Give yourself a task. In a week, I need to put out at least 10, 5, 8, 10, whatever number, 15 applications. Will it be easy? Absolutely no. Is it doable? 100% yes. Someone else, your own is that you may want to be filming yourself, but you're not confident with the way you look. Maybe you feel like you're too big, you feel like you're too fat, blah, 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 blah. All of these things. Now, what are you doing about it? Have a schedule. What are you eating? Do you actually work out intentionally? Do you actually wake up and go for whatever it is you want? Or are you sitting around and looking for who will pity you and help and watching and following all the people who are doing workouts, but you're not doing any of it? So at the end of the day, the question, like, which is the topic of this thing, is how badly do you want the life you desire? When you do your part, I tell you guys all the time when we do all this chat, I always tell God, see you, I've done my part. Just like we told Abraham, carry your son and go and sacrifice. He did his part, carried the boy, even though the sacrifice didn't happen eventually, but he carried the boy. Obedience. Obey first, do your part first. Then you can come back and say, God, you said I should do this, I've done it. I'm telling you guys what works for me. It has always worked for me and it will keep working. If God said do this, these are the instructions for the path you're going. Everybody has their own path. Some people's path is content creation. Some people's path is makeup services. Some people's path is selling products. Some people's path is corporate. Some people's path is coaching. Whatever it is your path is, what are the things you need to do? So once you've written down these things, you've created a schedule, you've taken action by doing those things, the next thing is now to pray about them. You must put in the work and then you pray. You're not going to prayer. Faith without works is dead. That is what the Bible says. So which means you have to put in the work. Okay? So I want you guys to do these things. I'm telling you today there are things that I have been able to achieve that when I look back 5 years ago, it wasn't like it didn't seem possible. But then when I ask myself, how did you get here? I only got there because I am always pushing myself. When I don't feel like it, I push myself. When I don't feel like I'm working out, I push myself. When I don't feel like filming content, I just push myself, roll into the studio. The truth is that once you're in that space, most times the motivation comes. So I really hope that this unplanned video of, I wasn't meant to do this, we're meant to be doing makeup and doing it, but we ended up doing it so that instead of not doing it at all. So I hope that this unplanned video helps somebody to really know what they want. Because first of all, you have to know what you want. What exactly do you want? What exactly do you want out of life? What is the life that when you close your eye, you imagine? What is the thing that, oh my God, every time you see it, your body's doing you, I really want this thing. For me, I'm always very vocal about what I want. I always tell God, I really want, I am very comfortable right now, but I want to be at that point where the task I want to do in life financially, I'm not even thinking it twice. Like, I'm not worrying about where the money will come from, all those kind of things, right? I want to be a bigger voice in my industry. I know I'm already a voice to God's glory, but I want to be on that level where if Ginika teaches you this, like, that's it. Like the ends of the earth will know this name, right? So I am doing the work. You have to know what you want and you put in the work. Everything I always talk about here, and every time we do our talk, is always reminding you guys that anything you want, you can do it. You can do it. We serve a God of abundance, so you already have access. You already have access to everything that you want. So I hope that somebody is blessed by this video, and I hope that you really do take action. And I'm always asking you guys, let me know your biggest takeaway from this video. Drop a comment. Let me know if you liked this video that was unplanned, and if you haven't subscribed, please do not forget to click the subscribe button because I want you to be part of us. And if you loved this content and you want more like this, please drop the like. And I'll definitely see you guys next week by God's grace in my next video.